I often get asked the question by students and parents of students whether they can skip one of the Australian Music Examination Board exams. For example, maybe they do grade 2 and they ask if they can skip to grade 4 the next year. And here's my answer to this. It depends. It depends on one, how the student is performing in each lesson. Two, what their musical background is. For example, if they've grown up playing piano and they've already got a good ear and they can hear rhythm easily and they're able to easily fit in with a piano accompaniment on the flute, then these are the types of students that are more likely to skip an AMEB exam. However, the flute is different to the piano. It's a fairly common practice for piano students to skip exams, but there are a few reasons for this. It could be that students are not doing the full comprehensive exams for piano, they're just doing the repertoire exams. And the repertoire exams are far less challenging than the full comprehensive exam. What's the difference, you might ask? The difference is there are a lot of scales and technical work and theory and oral in the full comprehensive exams. Whereas the repertoire exams, it's just about playing the pieces. So if you want to be more of a skilled musician, then the full comprehensive exam is the best option for you. The other thing is the piano is a solo instrument. Therefore, the sense of rhythm and time is not going to be as crucial as it is on the flute. I'm not saying it's not crucial because it absolutely is to be a good musician. But on the flute, you can't be rushing or getting behind the beat if you have to play with the piano player for the pieces. And the other thing is with instruments is it just takes quite a bit of time to develop a good sound on the instrument. Whereas on the piano or a violin or a cello or percussion or any instrument that you can essentially place your finger on and get an instant sound, it's already a different story. So with the flute, the hardest thing for beginners is to get a sound. And then you've got the awkward body posture, which is asymmetrical. Example, the head is turned to the left and the right hip goes back towards behind, so the pelvis is twisted, and then there's the breath control. So there's all these extra elements while playing a wind instrument compared to playing an instrument that doesn't involve the whole body. Although ultimately in the more advanced levels, every instrument is going to require the whole body, mind and soul. But when you're talking about the intermediate levels, it's different. So do I recommend skipping flute exams? Not really, but it also depends on how dedicated the student is. If they're doing more than an hour of practice a day in the lower grades, for example, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, then potentially yes, the exams could be skipped, but that also depends on how developed the sound is and how skilled they already are in musicianship. The main thing you have to ask yourself is, are you wanting to skip exams purely from an ego point of view, just to say that you've made it to a certain grade? Or are you learning for a lifelong skill of music and to develop the true language of music, which is going to serve you for a long time and a lifetime of pleasure and deeper understanding of what you hear when you hear a piece of music? I'm going to say outright that most people who learn an instrument are not going to be professional musicians. But that doesn't mean, therefore, you shouldn't learn an instrument, because that's definitely not true. Learning an instrument helps with all sorts of other things like focus and discipline and public speaking and just appreciation of mastery of a subject overall. So, this translates into other subjects in your life. So there's my nutshell opinion on whether you should skip exams or not. Generally speaking, I suggest no.